Have you ever thought about the price and consistency? Because no one told me it had one. Because let me tell you, I've been consistent for the past month with planning, setting routines, showing up, and somehow I still feel stuck. I feel like I'm doing everything right, but I still feel like there's this layer of doubt and self sabotage that I'm still struggling with. So this week, I'm asking a different question. Not how can I stay consistent, but who am I staying consistent for? In this Sunday audit, we're going to be looking into what consistency actually builds, where it can quietly break you, and what shift I'm making right now. And then at the end, we're going to go through my full weekly reset along with 3 journal prompts that can help you start where you are. The last prompt really challenged me to think about where I am and where I want to go. One thing that the internet is always going to tell you is that you need to be consistent. And I'm even a person who tells you that you need to be consistent, just to be very honest and clear. But I think the thing that nobody tells you about consistency is the back end work of it. Everybody is going to tell you that you need to be consistent with something, but if you don't know what the something is, how can you truly be consistent throughout your life? And that's something that I had to learn this week. Even for you, can you think back to a time where you have been consistent but still felt unfulfilled? So, for the month of March, I tried to challenge myself to post every day on IG. And it wasn't necessarily a plan to get viral or anything else. I just wanted to see if I could be consistent in social media. Was I perfect throughout the whole part? Mm, absolutely not. The thing about consistency is if you're not 100% on, like if you don't meet it every day, even apps will have like your little streaks. Like I have MyFitnessPal and it has a streak on it, and I think I missed a day and my streak was gone. Tries to train your brain to continue, which isn't bad. I'm not saying that it's bad. In a way, it feels like a punishment when you're not consistent. Starting this reflective journey, this reset journey, wasn't for me to make myself feel bad, but to build a life that was sustainable. So I had to really think about what my relationship with consistency meant and how it was starting to make me feel. Despite all of that, I think consistency is something that is still needed within your life, because if you think about the good parts of consistency, as it builds trust, it creates a structure in your life, it makes you be your own accountability partner. And for me, it also reduces decision fatigue. Nothing, and I mean nothing, is better than knowing what I'm going to eat for the week. Being able to plan my meals, and even better, have the meals already done for me in the fridge, is something that I can't even describe it. It was the best feeling this month. But with everything, without actually reflecting on what you're consistent about or what worked and what didn't, it could be a hindrance to your life. Because let's be honest, if you're doing your routines every day and nothing seems to fulfill you, make you happy, who are you really doing the consistency for? Are you doing it for a version of yourself that is palatable or acceptable to other people? Or are you actually being consistent and being in alignment with the person that you see at the end of the day? And I think people really need to start thinking about what that consistency looks like in their life and if it correlates with where they want to go. And honestly, beloved, and I'm speaking to you and me, I don't think we necessarily have a consistency problem. I think the problem lies in that we're loyal to the pattern systems that actually don't align with us anymore. For me, there are moments in time where I have to sit with myself and say, okay, you said that you want to be consistent on this, but is this sustainable? Like, take keto, for example. I think keto is one of the things that, if you're on a weight loss journey, a lot of people will tell you, like, oh, to get the fastest results. But you have to really think, are you going to give up carbs for the rest of your life? Is that truly sustainable? I know for me, it's not. So for me to say, hey, I'm going to give up all these things and be unhappy, I feel like that defeats the purpose, to still do things, but still enjoy your life at the same time. Not saying that you lack discipline, but also understanding that if you commit to these very strenuous, very restrictive plans in your life, are you truly going to sustain that and be happy with that life? And for some people, it may be yes, but I have to recognize that that is a no for me. Because let's be honest, if we take that keto example, that first month of discipline and consistency, you're hitting it. There were other consequences that came with that. There was this fatigue when it came to food, this hyperfixation of, okay, am I in the carb deficit that I'm supposed to do? Tracking literally everything, being scared that I'm going to miss a day on MyFitnessPal to track my carbs, track my calories, track my weight. All of that builds this resentment toward a routine that when you started, it was for the benefit of your life. It was to make your life better. But at the end of it, you're feeling icky and yucky and trying to figure out if it was something that was actually worth it. And of course, this analogy can go for so many things outside of keto, but that was the first thing to come to mind because it is so restrictive, but it's built out of a need to make your life better. I think the latter is something that we all want to do, which is, again, find alignment in our lives, make our lives better than it was yesterday, 1% better. But I want you to take that analogy and look at the things that you have been consistent with your life. Is it sustainable? Is it making you happy? Do you really think that you can do it 20 years down the line and it align with the life that you have? I think that's why I created my personal system of routine, rest, and reflection, because it gives me enough wiggle room to figure out and align with where I want to go. But it also creates a little bit of structure in my life that I know at the end of the week, I need to fall back on those three things. Was I doing my routines that I set up for myself? Was I resting enough outside of the routines? And was I reflecting on if those routines are sustainable and work for the life that I have? And this is the part that I wish someone had told me sooner, because it really did redefine and redirect me on how I'm going to approach this week moving forward. I'm more so less concerned with being consistent and more concerned with alignment and being intentional with what that looks like. Think about those three pillars as routine is what supports you, rest is what restores you, and reflection is what corrects you. We have been joined by a visitor. So let's go over my weekly reflection, starting with what went well. I think this week went well in terms of my routines. Do enjoy the routines that I did initiate with my kitchen. So the way in which my apartment works is the first thing that you see when you walk in is our kitchen. When I walk into our apartment and see that the dishes aren't done, it creates this heaviness. And the one thing that I will say as a Cancer is that my home is sacred. In the sacredness of my home, I want to make sure that cleanliness is something that I focus on. So the routine that I built is that at the end of the night, I need to make sure that all the dishes are in the dishwasher and that the sink is clear, the areas are clear. Not only does this build calmness when I walk into the apartment, but it builds an environment where I actually do want to cook. So for me, the routine is to make sure that those places are clear, not just only entering my home, but also when I'm doing things within my kitchen. I think what didn't work this week, and this is something that hasn't been working for weeks, is content. I want to build content, I want to make content, I want to post content, but there is work that comes with content, and a lot of people, and I'm saying this for people who are not natural yappers like me, just to put down a camera and yap my head off is not something that I'm able to do. But I think the phenomenon is that people just put down their camera and just say whatever is on their mind. And I can't do it. And I'll probably explore this in another video. But for my content, I know that I have to script. I know that I have to think about what I say. I know that there's a certain intentionality that comes with my content. So being consistent with content or building a routine around content is something that didn't go too well last week that I really, really want to focus on this week. And I know this may be crazy to say, but I didn't have a favorite moment of this week. And I know that's crazy to think about, but life sometimes happens that way. I was very much on autopilot this week. We had some changes at work. I was just trying to get things done in the house, and I was just coasting throughout everything. So I didn't necessarily have a favorite moment, but I wouldn't say that I didn't enjoy this week. Does that make sense? For next week's intentions, I'm really going to start focusing on my walking journey because I want to make sure that I get my 10K steps in a day. And it's not necessarily for like a fitness thing, which let me take that back. I don't know why I'm so uncommitted to saying that, oh, I'm on a fitness journey. And that's probably something that I need to unpack, to be honest. But I don't want to say that I'm on a fitness journey right now. I'm on a health journey. I would just like to be able to walk upstairs, around places, anything like that without feeling winded. So I think introducing walking into my lifestyle is a good place for me to start. And if it takes me somewhere after that, that's always good. But I'm on a health journey and I want that to be my intention for next week. The other orange in question has arrived. Is there something you would like to say? Riveting. In all of this, I just want you to understand that you don't need a new routine for any of it. You just need a new relationship with yourself to determine what works and what doesn't. Both oranges have arrived now. So let's get into this week's journal prompts. Journal prompt number 1. Where am I being consistent out of habit but not intention? Journal prompt number 2. What routine feels heavy now that used to feel aligned? Journal prompt number 3. What would it look like to trust myself instead of force myself? If you need structure on how to follow through with this, my intention bundle is listed below. It is what I've been using in order to keep myself consistent, but also realistic. So let me know in the comments, what is one thing that you're choosing to be consistent on this week that is realistic and sustainable? Until next week, see you, beloved.